And now, our feature presentation. Hey guys, I'm Scarfy.
I'm Naka.
I'm Krüz.
And welcome to Subwoofer Entertainment, a determinedly drunk, geeky, and cheerful podcast where wolves be house and extremely entertaining, bringing you all latest entertainment news. Sets a Linguistic appreciation class talk about what's going on certain topics to see how people react to them in certain ways. I hope my audio is doing okay. I've
It's
good.
An
audio check.
You kind of
okay.
It sounds like you
All
rushed a little bit through it. It's like
I mean, I'm starting to feel like I could train to be an auctioneer, if you know what I'm saying. But
yeah, you're getting to that pace. Gotta work on it.
Yeah, I'm getting to that pace. I gotta work on it. So yeah, guys, Halloween is in a week, and apparently, I decided to we're celebrating it a little bit earlier because, well, our next show is in November 1st, and so technically, October 31st is on Saturday, and we only do our shows on Sunday, which is kind of funny because guess what's on Halloween? A full moon. Can you believe that? A full moon is on Halloween, and not only that, we also have
Daylight savings
during
time.
Halloween. Daylight savings time ends, which means we go back an hour. So
fun.
I know.
I biscuits and
I can't wait to
curly fries.
I can't wait to stay up till 1:59 a.m. and then wait for the clock to roll over back to 1 a.m. and I'll just be like, oh my god.
An extra hour of sleep, right?
Well, the good thing is that most clocks nowadays automatically do it, but some don't. And the other thing is that what's irritating is that some don't do it, but they are programmed to do it later, and so they correct it later after you have already corrected the time.
We kind of have a. It kind of works the way it does, and it's just there was a ballot on my not this year, but like I think it was 2 years before in the midterms. There was a proposition to basically ignore daylight savings time, which I actually voted against because I actually prefer fall back over spring forward, but that's personally my opinion.
We just don't have either.
Exactly. It would make a lot more sense, but I like I said, I wasn't Benjamin Franklin, so
I mean it's basically just for like
farmers
trying to get the most out of daytime for fucking reasons. But
yeah.
there's plenty of stuff against it, plenty of stuff for it. So you know what? It's just a thing.
I mean,
I guess we're gonna have to live with for at least a while.
Scientists have said that basically daylight savings time just does more harm than it does good. Oops.
Yeah. Oops.
But it doesn't do us more harm than good supporting us on Streamlabs.
Correct. S.E.T has been brought to you by Streamlabs. We are a non-profit podcast, but we use this as our go-to for making more episodes and help them be bigger and better than ever before by purchasing equipment or other visual means. Please don't feel obligated. We are not asking for money to pay the rent, but if you have the heart to donate, it is greatly appreciated. So we came in a little bit of a snag. Last episode. Apparently, as some of you may have known,
YouTube is dumb.
Have you seen? Have you seen any of the cartoons where a cartoon character is on stage and then suddenly they just get the hook to the neck character and just kind of like what it was?
So basically, I talked with Naka and Krüz about this I believe it was a few days ago, and it was a very hard talk. It was a very, very detrimental talk because the thing is with our show is that I did not think we could get to this point. I didn't think that we could actually get to a point or to a place where we can actually learn to actually be something more than just a goof off podcast. We're actually more dignified. We're more formal. We've been here for 4 years, and I thought that it was a perfect time to branch off. And then we tried doing, video trailers, and then YouTube's copyright system thinks that, because we're showing their imagery, that means that we should get copyrighted for it. And I think it has something to do with, the music, because music is just a bullshit thing to copyright.
I think the audio, it might be the bigger part of that issue because even if it's not copyrighted music, it's still music that they're playing for a lot of the trailers, and that is something that YouTube sees as a big no-no.
So I just wanna come up with something that we've all talked about. I have recently gotten into contact with some executives. We're gonna keep that on the down low because this is kind of very personal stuff, and we just kind of want to keep it on that, and we're waiting for responses from them. I hope that it comes as soon as it can, because we want to do this. We want to get to where we are. So I do want to make a just a quick announcement. We're going to be switching back to our traditional format temporarily. It's only going to be temporary. I would hope it would not be forever, because that would really suck, because I feel like, I've talked about this with my professors. I talked about this with film executives about this, and YouTube's copyright system is very, very dumb. I absolutely cannot stand it. I even debated maybe we should just go to another format that would love to have us on, but DMCA, it's just
Twitch is mega fucked right now. When streamers have music in their backgrounds and it's copyrighted music. Completely muting and taking down 10 years worth of content, not fucking cool. Twitch, not cool.
No, it isn't, and unfortunately, it's just how it is, and I wish it was a lot different.
Especially when it's retroactive.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing that I need to bring up. With trailers, we're not trying to make money off of them. We're not trying to steal anyone's content. We're just simply reacting to it. If anything, we're actually giving money to the creators. If you think about it logically, because people are watching our reactions.
Think about it logically, but when has that been YouTube's case?
No, yeah, it is a mess. It is a mess, and so we're hoping that we can switch back, because it's been a huge problem on all our ends. But that's really what we have to say at this time. And speaking of, I guess you could say, bullshit, I'm gonna go ahead and move it over to Krüz with music, because Krüz, you're not happy about this one, are you? Do you need a drink? Do you need a drink? I can give you a drink.
I have a drink, but I also have food, and also had to put the food down.
All right.
There is a reason that I did not include visuals for this. So put the link in now. Fuck Miley Cyrus and fuck pop music. Scarfy, to your credit, you don't understand as deeply as I do, but at least this wasn't a collaboration. Oh, thank Christ! Or else, guess what? We'd have an album worse than Lulu. And any person who has listened to Lulu understands how dog shit that album is. Now, that album was a collaboration between Metallica and Lou Reed. Unfortunately, Lou Reed forgot how to sing, and it sounded like, to the best that it can be described, was a YouTube comment saying that it sounds like some drunken man stumbled into a Metallica jam session.
What do you have to say regarding Miley Cyrus? Nice.
Yeah. You know what? Well, I guess I'll leave it to the article itself. As the article says, there's plenty of possibility that this could be unlistenable dog shit. That's probably a likelihood. There is this possibility that this might not even be a thing. This was just something that was apparently just thrown up in the air, and maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. You know what? Please return to irrelevance, Miley, and leave us all to be better off without hearing your... one more thing. The whiskey rasped voice? Who the fuck are you talking about? Miley Cyrus has a raspy voice? What? Excuse me. Do you not have ears? What is this bubblegum pop candyland bullshit? Fuck you, this is not Whiskey
best of both worlds. Till it out, take it slow. Then
You know what Best of Both Worlds belongs to? It belongs to fucking Van Halen.
And Naka doesn't even know where I got that from.
Everyone knows it because they fucking hate it because fuck Miley Cyrus and fuck pop music.
He's being sent to the gulag.
Gulag. Yeet! Yeet!
Alright, you have been released from the gulag.
Hey, what was that for?
You know your crimes.
But what did I get that from?
You know everybody knows where you got that from.
All right.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say I'm gonna give this a shot.
Oh,
give this a shot. Hopefully, it's a kill shot.
It's not gonna be a kill shot. I'm gonna listen through the whole thing.
Boo!
Wow. I have a differing opinion about music and music artists.
What do you mean, wow? You know what? Here's the thing. I don't doubt that she could sing okay. But the problem is that we haven't had really much of anything that shows that she can sing without this processed, auto-tuned bullshit. At least with Lady Gaga, we got a tiny sampling of what her voice is like without all the overprocessed bullshit. And to be fair, the debut of Lady Gaga with Metallica was kind of overshadowed by the fact that apparently they decided that they didn't want James Hetfield's microphones to work, and James Hetfield angrily threw his guitar at the techie, who surprisingly caught it. And this isn't a cover album that they're saying. This is a vocal cover, so we don't really know anything much about the nature of how this is going to be recorded. If it is going to be recorded, I would just like this to be, push this.
Corey Spang, thank you for subscribing.
But unfortunately for you, the dog shit train doesn't stop here.
It don't stop, but it's going to be derailed. Put it in a... You know what? I was going to make a joke, but I don't care. I'm just going to warn everyone, if you have any donuts that you hold dear, be sure to keep them a decent distance away from Ariana Grande, the donut licker herself. This is, in fact, to me at least, confirmed to be unlistenable dog shit. Overly processed, barely comprehensible, bubblegum pop, boring ass candyland bullshit fucking music. Fuck Ariana Grande. Fuck you. Next. Get what I did there? Turn your song into something that's actually fucking meaningful. You know what? I turned your song into something meaningful, not because I changed the words, but because it turns it. The next thing that's going on is something better and higher quality than what you could ever fucking provide.
What do you have to say about Ariana Grande, Naka?
KYS. What?
What? Jesus Christ, Krüz.
Not.
Don't say things like that. We could actually get in trouble for that.
Uh-oh.
Yes, please. What do you have to say, Naka?
I don't.
You don't like Ariana Grande?
It's a no-no.
I mean, like I understand, like, you guys just really don't like pop music, and I get it, but like, come on, at least, like, is there something about the music quality? Is it something about them selling out? Is it something about them just not, their voice not sounding good?
It's all the same. It is all the same.
I looked up the again, the whole KOS thing is, I am the whole disclaimer, so say it's not funny, it's not a joke, but there are things that make me unhappy to be a listener to. Mm-hmm. And Ariana Grande, the whole thing is just that I tried. I gave it a college try, and I made it 5 seconds through listening to this song.
Through. Jesus
Christ. Again, that took all my effort to try to listen to it, but it's just like, God, it's just nausea in audible form.
I mean, at least with the next one, it's a lot more tolerable for you.
Yeah, well, you know what? Fuck you next. You know who we get next? Diamonds! That's an achievement in Minecraft. Correct. And it's also a new song from Sam Smith. Well, the last that I myself have heard from Sam Smith was his song for the James Bond movie Spectre. Oh, and how the artist choice has declined since then. Not to mention since Skyfall.
Hey, I like Skyfall.
That's what I mean. I mean, Skyfall was good. Sam Smith's was okay. I think the song's called Writing on the Wall. And then we got Boring Eyelash.
You really don't like Boring Eyelash, do you?
I don't, it's like, here's the thing. It's like, if you called her a singer and considered the fact that, mumbling into a mic 5 seconds after waking up is, quote, singing, sure, she's a singer. Fuck that shit. Yeah, the album was going to be called, for Sam Smith, was going to be called To Die For, but Sam felt, God damn it, it was going to be insensitive given the Backstreet Boys Reunion Tour background. Wouldn't have bothered me personally, and in fact, Testament had one of the songs for their 2020 album, Symptoms. Well, the song was about mental health, and it was written by guitarist Alex Skolnick. It has, according to Chuck Billy, the vocalist, taken on a new meaning in light of the Backstreet Boys Reunion Tour and everything about that. About the music itself, Sam Smith is doing a Sam Smith thing, lamenting pop songs about love and loss of love and such like that.
The typical pop mainstream garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I will say for some part that's true, but also Sam Smith is gravitated towards the relatively real emotional side. Ariana Grande was not really in that part, but Sam Smith is more like, I guess you have like the Way Too Good at Goodbyes song, and that's like, lamentable song, Way Too Good at Goodbyes. You hate breaking up, but you're too good at it, quote unquote, and that's how the whole thing goes. But Sam Smith seems to be doing well for himself. I mean, I would definitely say that that's a better choice than Ariana Donut Liquor.
I'm very confused about the donut licking stuff. What is that about?
So apparently, what happened? I was gonna try to explain this. Ariana Grande was in a coffee shop or something, and what happened was she picked up a donut, licked it, and put it back. And that was caught on film at some point. I don't remember when it was, but that's where that comes from. She licked a donut and put it back, and that was just the whole thing for a while, because pop music, and it's like every tiny little thing becomes the whole epidemic. But it was kind of funny, so I just thought I'd reference it and remind people, just like how Jameis Winston stole crab legs.
Oh yeah.
And all that.
That's where the whole crab thing comes from. What is he even doing nowadays?
He's the backup quarterback for the Saints behind Taysom Hill.
At least this album sounds a lot more tolerable than the last two.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's just still It's definitely more authentic music rather than mainstream garbage, but whatever.
I mean, technically, Adele is authentic and mainstream. She can be both.
Yeah, but she's Adele.
It's kind of a rarity among all this other shit going on.
Because her voice is actually real.
Yes, she's one of the rare ones that's like, it's both authentic and mainstream and not garbage.
Yes, I agree.
The rare trio. But speaking of not garbage and authentic and real, but not mainstream, bring me the Horizon.
Yeah. Survival horror. Post-human. The title is backwards, but the title does say survival horror, but this is not a video game. It is an album from Bring Me the Horizon, also known as BMTH, that sees them trying to invoke heavy Linkin Park vibes from when Linkin Park was good. Teardrops is the song I decided to set as the link because it sounds a lot better than the other songs that are available. That's just my opinion. And if you want to listen to other songs, they're called Ludens, Obey, and Parasite Eve. And apparently Mick Gordon himself was involved in the album production. And also, this is a reminder to me, myself, to announce that the Doom DLC, the Elder Gods or something like that, is available now, and I was just playing it before the show. The album is out October 30th. There's Doom Eternal. Yeah, Doom Eternal, The Ancient Gods. That's what the DLC is called. Mick Gordon was apparently involved in the production of this album, which is pretty cool. The music is, to me, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But you know what? It's like reliving the glory days of Linkin Park. So there's that. And yeah. Bleh. Album out October 30th. Halloween Eve, baby.
A lot of stuff's either coming out like on Tuesday or Friday, which is Halloween Eve, which is pretty typical. It's either Tuesdays or Fridays, typically.
Halloween Eve.
Halloween. Halloween, there we go.
Halloween, yeah.
Oh, speaking of things coming out on Tuesday, it's probably this episode after cutting it down and whatnot, but also Stranger Things Season 2 will begin on Dead Meat's Kill Count series.
Yep, it will. I just watched that today because I watched his video today on Hereditary, which I think is probably... I think not my favorite horror movie, but it's probably my second favorite because The Conjuring is still my favorite horror movie. But if you have not seen Hereditary, go see it. It's an excellent horror film. It builds up a lot. So much suspense. It's so good.
Yeah.
And to talk about the music for a second before we transition into something that's also kind of a horror movie thing, Bring Me the Horizon, it's kind of one of those outlier bands that, it's, along the lines of kind of My Chemical Romance and all those kind of other, less mainstream rock and hard rock bands that I need to give them more of a chance, and this is a great way to kind of step back into it. So, yep, there's that. Scarfy, your thoughts?
On bring back the
Bring Me the Horizon?
Bring Me the Horizon. Yeah, I was getting Linkin Park vibes, and I don't know why, but it's just... it's just, for whatever reason, I'm not really...
I felt that too, because it was just like kind of... I don't know when it happened. I know it wasn't this album, but it was in recent years that BMTH decided to embrace more Linkin Park-esque vibes and electronica vibes in their music.
Basically.
But that they've kind of hit a good kind of medium with it, I think. Not really my kind of stuff, but
Oops. But all right.
Whoops.
Oops. All right. Now I'll let you transition into this one, Krüz. So go ahead.
Finally, some good fucking food.
Oh God.
We have more doom metal this week, and this time it is Draconian with Under a Godless Veil. The Sacrificial Flame is the linked video and shows off the band's dual-vocalist balance of haunting, clean vocals and brutal growls. Moon Over Sabbath is also available, and as far as I could find from Napalm Records, is the only other available song so far. The album will be released on Halloween Eve, like the others, on October 30th. And you know what? This one, among others, this one in particular, will make a perfect addition to any Halloween playlist. So if you're in the mood for some spooky, dark, brooding music, go ahead and check this shit out.
No, I mean it does look good. We're gonna say Naka.
No, I unscrewed some of my the cap off my soda. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this song is very interesting. I really enjoyed what it had to offer. I could only hope that I don't know why, but I was getting like a Lamb of God feel from this particular album.
A little bit. I think that some of the comments said that the lyrics, a lot of them were introspective, and Lamb of God is no stranger to that. Yeah, I think they've got a good thing going. They're not relatively new, but I mean, relatively young band, and they're continuing the doom metal vibe, and it's really awesome to see that there's bands taking up championing the banners of old styles and everything.
Yeah.
And, championing these banners in battle, it's, hard to doubt their bravery when you have people conquering the crown Tundra.
Ha ha! Last couple thoughts. I need to listen to more doom metal, and the fact that we keep getting doom metal on the show is cool. I like that. I approve. But
It's key.
quick update. There's no real trailer for this, though I could have posted a trailer. But for those who own Pokemon Sword and or Shield, which is me and Krüz, because Scarfy doesn't understand that, hey, by the way, there's reasons why they can't include every single Pokemon into their first fully HD mainstream main series console game.
I'm sorry, I don't think there's an excuse for that, but okay.
Plenty of reasons, you just fail to understand them.
No, I just don't agree with them. I find the reasons bogus, but continue.
Pokemon Sword and Shield's second DLC released on October 22nd or October 23rd due to time zones and whatever the hell, depending on where you lived in the world. The second expansion, as part of the expansion pass, has been unlocked, and they've got another big area, which is quite literally just south of the main area. It's not like its own separate island like Isle of Armor. So you got another big area to explore and find new Pokemon, including some new regional forms of some legendary Pokemon, as well as the new Dynamax adventures, where, like the Battle Factory of Battle Frontiers in the past, you are given rental Pokemon. And you might say, why are you given rental Pokemon? They do explain it, why you only use rental Pokemon and not the ones that you have with you. So there's a reason why. You gotta play the game to figure that out. Any Pokemon that you catch, like you can catch all the Pokemon that you fight in the Dynamax adventure, you do get to keep one and, put it in your box or put it in your party when you either succeed or fail the challenge. So you do get to keep a Pokemon, and at the end of each Dynamax adventure, the final battle is up against a legendary Pokemon. that's been reintroduced. So I've gotten, like, I failed at trying to get a Zygarde, but like we've had, Tornadus or like, I forget if it was Tornadus or Landorus. It was one of those two. We've had Kyurem, me and my friends. Suicune, I got another Suicune. And you might, like, these Pokemon that were not in the base or Isle of Armor expansion, because the Pokemon that were slated to, not every single Pokemon's been added back, but a great big chunk of them have been added back. So, I get to bring back my Absol that I've had for many years, and I get to use my Absol again, and that makes me happy. And I also have my giant metal spider, aka Metagross, and my Crobat. I'm glad to have some of my old Pokemon back. My and along with my friend's reasoning as to why all the Pokemon aren't back yet is because, next year is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon first releasing. It'll be 15 years since Generation 4 initially released. It's perfect time to do Gen 4 remakes, and there's Gen 4 Pokemon not included in Sword and Shield, so they have to bring those Pokemon back as well as all the other ones that aren't in the game yet. And then there'll be a free National Dex update for Pokemon Sword and Shield. But
Gotcha.
Speaking of Pokemon, if you do not need to own the DLC to bring Pokemon back from Pokemon Home, so like if Pokemon that are exclusive to the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, you can, if they're in your Pokemon Home, you can bring them into your base game, no strings attached. And any Pokemon like the regional variants of the legendaries and like the exclusive legendaries, those can be brought over to your main game as well for free. I'm glad Game Freak did that, because that would have been stupid if they didn't. But if you want to pick up just this expansion, it is $20. If you pick up the expansion pass, which is both expansions, it's $30, or you're saving $10. In the future, there is also going to be a Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield release that includes the expansion pass. So it's probably going to be like $80. It's probably going to be released around the holidays. But quick update, which turned out to be a little bit longer than quick, but
I said, I will get a Pokemon game when all the Pokemon are in it. That's really all I have to say. So,
all right,
are able to be in it.
And now we move on to some advergaming. Why is it called advergaming? Because it's a commercial tie-in and pretty much an advertisement for this series. Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues. A lower-budget licensed beat-em-up based on the series Cobra Kai, which is based off of the Karate Kid franchise, developed by Flux Games and published in North America by Game Mill Entertainment. Well, if you want to pick it up for your Switch, PS4, or Xbox One, it releases October 27th. I don't trust Game Mill Entertainment with the stuff that they've published in the past, so that's why I don't have much to say.
What have they published in the past?
Remember a couple of weeks ago when I talked about, I believe it was the G.I. Joe game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they published that, and I talked about Game Mill in the Entertainment because they had previously published Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. I don't trust that publisher.
Just because of that?
Because of
yes. And
if you don't understand why Big Rigs Over the Road Racing.
No, it's bad. I've heard of the game. I saw like playthroughs of it. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, I would not trust the publishing company who published that title. And Big Rigs kind of has a sad story behind its development and everything like that, but that's another story for another day. What are your thoughts on this?
Sorry.
It looks interesting to say the least. I like the fact that it's, looking at the Cobra Kai and basically, the Karate Kid was this big 80s movie that came out that everyone was falling in love with. Every person liked it. Every person wanted to be those characters. We all wanted to learn karate. It was a fascinating time. I'll give it that. I don't know if turning it into a video game makes it any good, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see. I do kind of like what it has to say, though. It has a lot to say, but we'll just have to wait and see how everything goes. So, typical stuff. Not much to say here.
Coming out for the big three consoles on October 27th. Now we move
the whole
on.
thing was. I think it can be stated for itself that the trailer for this has a eyebrow raising dislike ratio. Some comments said it looks like a mobile game. It kind of does. The quality of the game itself, especially when it's like intercut with clips from the movie and everything. Doesn't look great.
Yeah,
Good show.
That's the thing, is that it's cheap advergaming shovelware, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we move on to something hopefully better. Ghostrunner. Cyberpunk action video game developed by One More Level and published by All In Games and 505 Games. Ghostrunner is also co-produced by 3D Realms and co-developed by Slipgate Ironworks. After a global cataclysm, a city and a giant tower is the last bastion of humanity. Implants determine class in a caste system. That caste system automatically raises eyebrows for me.
Cataclysm.
But
Yes.
a caste
Cataclysm.
system
Oh.
that divides the community, that eventually leads towards a rebellion fueled by violence and poverty. Players assume the role of a hero who can fight both in reality and in a digital world, like the Matrix, to ascend the tower and defeat its ruler, the Keymaster.
Blah, blah, blah.
It borrows from Super Hot, meaning
Super hot.
if you
Super hot.
meaning if you
Very
get hit
soft.
once, you're dead.
Oh,
It looks interesting and is set for release on PC, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One on October 27th. That's the second October 27th release. And it will also release for PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X next year.
Oh, that sounds very. Yeah. So yeah, I was looking at this game. It looks like a hack and slash type of game, but it's more so you run and hack. Or
It's an
something like
action hack and slash, pretty much.
Yeah.
As far
So-
as the game
mean-
goes, it looks, and I was just playing Doom a few hours ago, the DLC from the Ancient Gods, and this looks like Doom writ large in the strategy of you're not staying in one place for too long. It looks really cool. All the visuals and everything, how the character moves and everything and all that. It looks very cool. So I do have an opportunity to get this game. So you know what? I'd like to see what this game has to offer.
I mean, yeah, it kind of I don't know why, but the character kind of reminds me of Genji from Overwatch. Just the character. But other than that, I really enjoy what this looks like. The colors look great. I like what it has to offer. Of course, I'm a little more excited for the next video game that Naka's going to announce. But it's always But Ghostrunner looks very good. Go ahead.
The Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope. Hold on.
Yes.
Scarfy, my agenda's cut off here.
Oh yeah, sorry. Just start where it says took them long enough. Sorry about that. I forgot to remind you of that.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot, dude. I'm telling it was on
Stinky.
Hold on, let me go on the raw file just real quick. Just to make sure that,
Yeah.
Just to make sure that
you
we were
totally
right.
Screwed that up. Thankfully, I
says-
have hindsight. I know what I'm reading because I wrote this.
Okay.
It took him long enough to develop a sequel to Man of Medan. This is the second of 8 installments in the Dark Pictures Anthology series. I thought it was going to be 4.
I thought it was going to be 3.
It's a third-person survival horror game where the player controls 5 characters trapped in a ghost town. Dialogue options lead to different endings, influence story beats and interpersonal relationships. You can play through the game multiple times to see everything possible, and depending on your decisions, all the characters die in the end. Action sequences equal QuickTime events, most of which, if missed, can lead to dire consequences. This has 2 different multiplayer modes. Shared stories online co-op, and movie night allows up to 5 people to select their own character.
Ooh.
And it prompts them to pass, whenever the prompt comes up, they're past the controller, they select their prompt and do whatever, and then pass it off to the next person. Up, 5 people, that's a bit interesting.
That's interesting.
I don't want to get into the story of things, because that's something I'd rather want to experience, not read about it.
Right.
Since it's also part of an overarching universe. It releases on October 30th for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, not the Switch.
But hey, so did you play Man of Medan? Did you like Man of Medan?
I watch people play Man of Medan.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch it too.
It's interesting.
I liked especially that Chemist was in charge of the theme song, which is, if you want to look it up, anyone who's curious about the theme song, it is called A Conversation with Death, and it is a cover by Chemist. It's an old folk song, and that's how I got into Chemist, which is another doom metal band, and it was really cool. I haven't seen a complete playthrough of Man of Medan, but I've seen a bunch of playthroughs of it. I get how the game works. It's kind of the whole Until Dawn situation. So I guess this is kind of like a collection of those kinds of games.
Well, I mean, they still have 6 more to develop and release, and hopefully Bamco doesn't kill the project at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I don't have much to say regarding Little Hope, other than that 2 friends of mine are getting the game when it comes out on October 30th. Unfortunately, one of them has to get it on digital because they like physical copies a little too much, and unfortunately because Amazon is currently, prioritizing necessity over, luxury, as you do, during a pandemic. It kind of makes sense as to why he would have to buy it digitally. But hey, I'm looking forward to this. I hope it's good. That's really all. I don't have much to say about it, but yeah, it looks interesting to say the least.
So, I have things I want to say about Amazon, but I'd rather not blast them out in public.
Okay.
Moving on to The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 4, of which I will just talk about as Cold Steel 4. Hey, we talked about this series before. It's a JRPG developed by Nihon Falcom and typically gets Japanese releases first. Ooh, couldn't speak there for a second.
Relations.
Seeing as how the release on PS4 in Japan was dropped 2 years ago. The gameplay is similar to Cold Steel 3, so if you've played that game, it won't be much of a shock when you get into the nitty-gritty of this one. However, included are new S-craft techniques in combat, utilizing lost arts from Cold Steel 2, and other things. There are many games like blackjack, poker, and other puzzle games that occur between, larger battles. There's lots of new playable characters from Class 8, which is kind of like the main crew. Whereas characters from older games are unplayable for whatever reason. Character Sergei Liu has been omitted because of their voice actor passing away in 2018, a month before release, Unsho Ishizuka. Oh. So that's why that character has been cut from the game. There's a ton of story relating to this game alone, but the gist of it picks up 2 weeks after the final battle of Cold Steel 3. Critics in Japan seem to love this game, and it's set to release on PlayStation 4 on October 27th in North America and Europe. Australians, you gotta wait till November 6th. If you want to pick it up on the Switch or PC, you gotta wait until next year. Don't know when. Next year.
Bah.
So I don't have much to say about the Trails of Cold Steel series, but I heard it's a very interesting franchise. I heard it gets decent reviews. But maybe if someone shows me that Trails of Cold Steel is awesome, I'll definitely be picking this up. But we'll just have to wait and see how that works. Wait, Bruce, did you get the right poster? This is PS Vita, dude.
I know it says PS Vita, but it's the same game. I didn't.
Is it Trails of Cold Steel or is it Trails of Cold Steel 4?
Is it? Oh,
yeah. Oops.
Wait, let me look. Oh.
Yeah.
I did Google images and it found what it did.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, you gotta read. You gotta learn how to. Yeah.
I have no idea how to.
You gotta learn
read.
how to fuck off.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Yeah, well, the enigma was eventually cracked. But this game, from what I saw, was a. First of all, what struck me about this was the music. The music sounded amazing from this game. You know, maybe typical JRPG stuff, but it sounded really good. Obviously, being the fourth installment in the series is something that I'm not terribly involved with, but yeah, it does. If the sound and the environment is anything to go by, it sounds like they've got a really good, start with all this stuff.
All right, now we move on to the big one of the week, Watch Dogs Legion. And as you see on the screen, PlayStation 5. But I'll talk about that later. The hype sequel to Watch Dogs 2 and the third game of the Watch Dogs series is finally here. This is a game that has been touted as being able to play as nearly anyone in London, meaning that you can recruit as many people as possible and jump between people with ease. Set in the near future in London, the game focuses on the London branch of a hacker group called DedSec, as they try and liberate the people from its dystopian surveillance state. Kind of like what's going on now, even though it's not dystopian, because everything...
Humstative.
Yes, I say humst because everything that we say and everything that a camera sees, it's all being broadcast somewhere, whether we know it or not. Yeah. That's just fact. At the same time, they need to figure out who the hell is framing them for terrorist attacks that they didn't do, and in the trailer they say they stopped, in fact, and as well as figuring out who did them and unravel a deep conspiracy centered around the head of a privatized military company. An open-world action-adventure game is Ubisoft's bread and butter, so with the ability to recruit damn near anybody, you got something good. When you have your team of members to choose from to do missions, they'll all bring their own unique skill sets to the table. Whenever you switch to a different person, you'll jump in on them during their daily routines, whether that be going to the pub, going to the shops, something like that. So it brings an element of humanity into it, kind of like Grand Theft Auto 5, because you can switch between all the characters, kind of at will, except if you're in missions. Before a player character can join DedSec, they must first complete a mission for them pertaining to a situation they're in and all needs resolving, at which point the character standing with DedSec affects whether they ally themselves with the group or they walk away even if the mission's completed. It's a very unique take of the open world genre of games, and Watch Dogs is a perfect series to do it. Online play is not coming out until December, which will be included in a free update. I'd rather games focus on the single player and make sure everything gets right and then work on the multiplayer, because I don't really think Watch Dogs is a multiplayer focused game compared to Grand Theft Auto, but that's just the way I am, the way I see it. As much as I want to play it right now, I don't have the cash to drop on it, but if you want to pick it up, it releases October 29th, the rare Thursday release for this week for Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the fucking Google Stadia. I'm surprised that thing's still even alive.
You really don't like Google Stadia, do you?
Oh my god, the creative director of the Google Stadia is also a giant dick, but
yeah.
The game will also be released as a launch title for both the Xbox Series X and Series S, as well as the PlayStation 5 on November 10th and November 12th, respectively. Well, it seems like I have to talk about those consoles next week.
Yes,
The
you
French.
do. You do have to talk about those consoles, and we're going to have to spend a lot more time in going in detail which console brings which to the table. As for Watch Dogs Legion, I heard it's been getting really good reviews, but don't count me on that one yet, because I heard that the first one was okay, but when the second one came out, it was better than the first. But I heard like extraordinary things about the third one. But you know,
Yeah.
not much to say about it. But yeah, go ahead.
The
Krüz.
big turnoff was the whole thing where they were self-referential about, like, is it rude to buy an unskippable ad? Yes, it is. Fuck you. I'm not going to buy your game specifically because you did that. Fuck you and everyone that you love. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad game. I understand what Watch Dogs is about as a game, and I like the idea that you have to recruit everyday people to kind of contribute to your cause, and what Watch Dogs is, which is kind of like whole tech spy kind of vibe and all that shit. It looks very cool. The trailer looks very cool. But again, when you have trailers that are annoying and turnoffs, guess what? People don't like to play your games when you do that. So learn from your mistakes, buddy. I don't know, man. That might just be me, but you know what? Fuck it. It don't fucking matter.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Do you have anything else to say regarding Watch Dogs Legion, Krüz?
No.
All right.
And there's Pebe.
And now we move on to a re-release.
Small Man 3.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Hey, look, there's Esteban on the cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the red Pikmin, Steve the Trooper, also known as Esteban, when Proton John played it for TRG.
Oh, okay. Steve?
Yes, Steve. The
Gotcha.
Spanish name for Steve is Esteban.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't have much to say about it, so I'm just like, Scarfy, you do this. And he was like, okay. Nintendo continues its killing spree of the Wii U with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, an enhanced port of Pikmin 3 that is set to release on October 30th. Players take control of Alf, Brittany, and Charlie, who have crash landed. Yes, ABC.
Mm-hmm.
It's also how you remember the astronauts who landed on the moon: Armstrong, Buzz, and Michael Collins.
Haha, reference to space people. They've all crash landed on PNF-404, not found, to explore the inhabitants to recover from the famine on planet Kupai. Oh, Kapai, excuse me.
Yes.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit on my thing. Along the way, they soon realize that Captain Olimar, the protagonist from the first two Pikmin games, has landed on the planet and has gone missing, and it's up to ABC to save their planet and the original captain with the help of the Pikmin. Each Pikmin color has a special ability. Red ones are strong and fireproof, blue ones can travel in water, and yellow ones are immune to electricity and can be thrown farther. You'll come across... Sorry, did anybody else just hear that?
No.
Football. Oh, good.
Football!
Yeah, football stuff. You'll come across other new Pikmin that have various abilities, like rock Pikmin that are more durable than the average Pikmin, and winged Pikmin that can fly instead of walking. This version includes a new prologue and epilogue featuring Olimar and Louie, co-op play and story, and difficulty modes. The reintroduction of the Piklopedia from Pikmin 2, as well as all the DLC from the Wii U version. It is the definitive version of Pikmin 3, and it's not the first time Nintendo's done a deluxe treatment of a game, nor will it be the last. In a few months, I got to talk about Mario 3D World's deluxe version, but with this release around the corner alongside the new Mario 3D World that will be discussed at a later date, questions has arose as to which game from the Wii U will be porting to the Switch next, nearly deeming the Wii U a pointless system because the Switch does games so much better. Either way, Pikmin 3 once again releases for the Nintendo Switch on October 30th.
So yeah, I watched a playthrough. I watched Chugga Conroy's playthrough of Pikmin 3. Needless to say, I wasn't that interested in it because, well, I mean, because look at it, it's Pikmin. I'm not a huge fan of Pikmin. It's the same reason why I didn't really care that much about the Nintendo Wii U press conference when it first debuted, because Pikmin 3 was the number one thing coming out, and I just didn't care. I didn't really care about Pikmin that often. Honestly, it's a good game. I played the first Pikmin. I did not play Pikmin 2 because I actually heard Pikmin 2 is way harder than the first, but if you ever get the chance to play Pikmin, I think you would actually really enjoy it. It's a very good grouping game. You get more Pikmin by getting the color, by putting the color in the pellet posies, and it gives you the Pikmin that you desire. So yeah, that's really all I have to say regarding Pikmin 3. I don't think I'll be picking this one up because I'm just not a fan of it. I don't really care about Pikmin. I care about other Nintendo games, but hey, Pikmin has a loyal fan base. I'm just not a fan. I just never have.
Pikmin is a game.
Naka, you've heard of Pikmin, right? What do you think about the Pikmin franchise? Okay, and then as for you, Krüz?
I was wondering, honestly, what it was that, or how Pikmin was presented as a game. It doesn't look like it's my kind of game, but it does look like it's a fun kind of game where, you're exploring a new world. You have to figure out how these characters interact with the world and everything. Like the electric ones have to be used to solve the electric levels. The fire ones have to use to solve the fire levels and all that shit. It looks pretty cool. I like that, but it's not the kind of game that I'm up for playing. Wholeheartedly right now.
Right, of course.
That's just that. It does look pretty cool. So, anyone with the Switch, you want a new adventure game? There you go.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say about Pikmin 3.
Yep, and now we move on to purely coming attractions, because nothing's coming out in Hollywood this week.
No, no movies have been being released for this week, but we got a whole bunch of coming attractions to get past with, and as I said before, these coming attractions will be our traditional format. We are not going to be using video because,
well, you know how that happened last time.
Yeah, and YouTube's copyright system is very stupid, and I fucking hate it, and I kind of wish that we had a different. I know it's bad. Anyway, so we're gonna get right into it, and I assume all of you saw these trailers. Well, I know Krüz saw we finished the video, but I wanted to know if you've seen every single one.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. So I starred these ones because they were the ones that were not included in our original video.
They were not included last week.
Yes. So these are the ones that are starred. Our first one is Dreamland. No, it's not a Kirby reference. A teen bounty hunter is torn between helping or capturing a seductive fugitive bank robber hiding in a small town during the Great Depression.
Define seductive. I watched the trailer, but I want you to define seductive in this case, for those who may not be aware of what seductive means.
I don't really okay, you have to understand when it comes to log lines, is just that sometimes when there's a log line on movie clip trailers, which is where I usually tend to take the trailer from, I just go with that one. I just copy and paste. Unless I really have to make one myself, but I don't know why. Maybe it'll be something good, but yeah, that's really all I have to say regarding Dreamland.
Flex your writing skills, man.
I will. It's just I'm more interested in other ones.
You want to become a filmmaker, don't you?
Of course I do.
Then watch the
I
trailer
don't think
and
I
write a
watched
proper
this one.
synopsis.
I don't think I
I
watched
did?
this one, but the ones we were watching, I don't know if I remember it, but seductive bank robbing figure, fucking
Lady, it's a lady bank robber. Then
bleh.
it's
I
a lady
mean,
bank robber
yeah.
during the Great Depression. I don't care. Turn that
Honestly,
person. Turn that person.
Turn the
in.
page.
All right.
Like,
Well, do we want to move? Do we want to
Like
move on to the next?
Metallica did.
Yeah, I
Do
mean
you wanna turn
everybody's
the
talking.
page?
Everybody's talking about Jamie. I don't know why we're not.
Everybody's
Jamie's got a
talking.
gun.
Everybody's talking about Jamie. A gay teenager has inspirations to become a drag queen, and I believe it was originally a play at first, and now it's being turned into a film. Okay. I don't want to say this trailer looks bad. It looks very, very flashy. It looks very pizzazzed. It's just there's something about it. There's something that's just kind of turning me off, and I don't understand why. But and it has nothing to do with drag queens. I'm just, people like drag queens, and that's fine. I'm just not a fan of drag. It just doesn't really interest me. I have other things that interest me. But hey, it looks interesting to say the least. But what do you have to say regarding this one, Naka?
I mean, I've watched a little bit of RuPaul's Drag Race every now and then whenever, I'm I'm either at my sister's or my sister was living here. So, drag queens, not necessarily my thing, but it's about somebody trying to chase their dreams. And
Right.
following through with following through with them and actually being able to achieve them. And that's kind of the goal about it. Whether you think one way or the other about it, it's supposed to be, hopefully, a feel-good, at the end, movie about somebody achieving their goals and being happy with their life decisions. And I just hope
agree.
it's not all hokey and bullshitty.
I mean, we all kind of wish that. Krüz, you're kind of,
I don't know, because I think that the one that
okay. I apologize, Krüz. I apologize. I at first was gonna say I don't know if you care about this stuff because you're straight. First off, but at the same time, I totally get you have a.
we didn't.
Hey, straight boys can like drag queens.
Well,
I know.
The
But...
thing is that I think that it was more that the memory kind of got cut off because of how we viewed the coming attractions from last week, and that was started off from a different movie, and I think I did see this, but I don't remember the content of it. So that was my thing. I don't exactly remember exactly what happened during it, but yeah, I think that despite being straight and everything, people can go for their own lifestyle, and if they make it, God, excuse me, all the more power to them and everything. It's harder when there's a lot of forces against you and everything, but
Some of those who work forces are the same that burn crosses.
And Jamie's got a gun.
Did you just switch mics?
On Discord, yes. On OBS, no.
We
Alright,
just
that's
made,
And
we
I
just
also made a Rage Against the Machine joke.
and I just made an Aerosmith joke.
So guys,
So,
are you guys ready for another video game adaptation?
Hey, as long as it's not garbage.
Well, hold your breath.
Well, we'll see about that.
Monster Hunter. A portal transports an elite unit of soldiers to a strange world where powerful monsters rule with deadly ferocity, based off the video game. So I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is this movie trailer looks okay. At the very least, it looks decent enough. The bad news, it's directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, the same director who did the Resident Evil films.
Maybe his directing has changed since then, or maybe he'll actually put some more effort into it than the Resident Evil movies.
at the very least, he was able to talk to the creators of the video game designers of the monsters, at least. So at least there's that. But the plot is where it's going to really shine. That's your meat of the that's your meat and potatoes of the film.
Meat.
So if people want to go see Monster Hunter just to see, that one monster on the big screen, I mean, you do you, man. Thumbs up. I mean, at least you get what you came for. At least you got your rocks off, for that. But if you came to get a coherent plot, that's what I'm kind of looking for. Oh, sorry. That is what I'm looking for, and I don't really know much to say regarding that. But hey, what can you do?
I mean, what can you do? That is the question. What can you specifically do?
Not much.
Other than talk about the news of the world.
A Texan traveling across the Wild West agrees to help rescue a young girl who has been kidnapped. So yeah, it's another Tom Hanks film. I love Tom Hanks. I mean, everything that Tom Hanks touches turns to gold, whether it's good or bad. So
Tim Hanks, A+, I win.
Pretty much. So
Fair.
I hope that this film is good. There's really not much for me to say. I mean, it kind of plays like every other, Western film I've ever seen. So maybe it'll do something different, but I'm just not too sure regarding this. Krüz, Naka?
It's Tim Hanks.
Okay, and other than that,
if it's not Doc Holliday, I don't know what's going on, baby.
I mean, I hope.
Okay.
I just hope that the movie's good, and I don't want this to be a detriment on Tom Hanks' career.
Yeah.
No.
The thing is, I still do want to see Greyhound, but again, I don't have Apple Music. But it looks
Apple
like
TV.
a good movie.
Anyway.
Apple TV, you mean? Not Apple Music?
Apple TV, yeah. This one.
Do we want to move on to the next one, which is actually a little sad? I'll give
the Black Album.
No, not even that.
No.
Krüz. A Black Tuckus.
No, Krüz. No.
Krüz, stop. You're gonna make an ass of yourself.
Oh,
Please, no.
I don't know.
All right.
You didn't see what this one was.
You didn't see what this one was. I did. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Tensions rise when trailblazing blues singer Ma Rainey and her band gather at a recording studio in Chicago in 1927. So I do want to talk about this particular film a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but this is the last film that Chadwick Boseman was in before he sadly lost his battle with prostate cancer.
Colon cancer.
Sorry, colon
Jesus
cancer.
Christ.
My apologize. What do you have to say regarding this? Because you could tell. I feel like you could tell by the way that he looks. He's just he's skinnier. He's What do you have to say regarding this, Naka?
This movie's definitely got, some fuel behind it, because the log line itself, Tensions Rise, it's 1927. You can tell from the title what it is, and, Chadwick Boseman starring in it, that there's going to be some, race issues addressed in this movie, to put it plainly. And, I hope that, there's going to be a tribute to Chadwick Boseman in the credits or in the film, one way or another, and it'll be the final send-off.
Yeah.
It's going to be the final send-off for him.
I
hope it doesn't bomb, really.
No, I don't think it will. Krüz, what do you have to say regarding this film?
Yeah, I would too. Hope that he's got at least a little tribute in here, because when I saw this is just one case where I saw when what's it called? Fast and Furious, when Aaron Paul, and the tragic thing that happened with that,
You mean Paul Walker?
Yeah, Aaron Paul, that's just the whole thing that happened. Just the whole ending of the movie. Sorry. the whole ending of the movie was kind of revolved around the loss of him and everything.
Not much else to say. Yeah.
But this, yeah, Chadwick Boseman, I didn't know what exactly was the last movie that he was going to be recorded in, but yeah, he was absolutely an actor who was gone way too soon, and he has done an excellent job. And yeah, I guess this might well be his last hurrah, or one of his last send-off kind of movies. And yeah, dude, he's done a great job. And again, from a local, for me, a Maryland man, he did the movie for Marshall, where he was he played Thurgood Marshall, who, you know, turned around and sued University of Maryland for I don't remember exactly what he sued him for, but it's kind of like he's done a really good job of representing African Americans throughout film history, and in particular in 42. Which I think was a great movie. So yeah, you have another chance to celebrate this great actor who's done an amazing job. And yeah, I guess that's what there is to be said.
Yep. And we do need to move on to the prom, which I never went to because I think school dances are fucking stupid.
To support a high school girl who wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, a group of self-obsessed theater stars go to a small conservative Indiana town. And yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you think it is. It's a musical. It's flashy. It's dancey.
Flashy, yeah.
There's really
sticking it to the man who's conservative and anti-LGBT. QIA plus, because a high school girl who wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, yeah, that's, I understand that, when we haven't made enough progress for the LGBT QIA community, QIA plus, excuse me,
right,
because there's still so many things that are backwards and downright wrong. And hopefully this movie isn't just, praying to the status quo, and maybe, there might be a good movement behind it, hopefully. But knowing again, it's complicated.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I totally see this happening in real life, because I've seen this happen before. It's just the way that it's the choice that they're making to make this film. It's the way that is presented is what matters, and how it's presented and what they're going to do to present it. That's what I'm looking for. That's where I care. That's what I want to see what's going to go on. This kind of looks a little too cheesy, but at the same time, just, flashy enough to where, hey, at least, people can be interested or entertained by it. But,
I think, I don't know if this was the one that I remember to a great degree from the video that we had all watched. But, yeah, for this to be, high school prom and of same-sex couples and everything, how that might have been treated. There had to a lot of more
I'm
uphill.
So sorry that you guys just heard that.
Yeah, I heard a lot of more uphill battles involved with that. Definitely was a thing, and yeah, a lot more uphill battles have had to have been dealt with the prom and everything.
But yeah,
all that stuff.
There's really not much for me to say about this film. It's about as quirky and interesting.
Quirky, cool teenagers.
Yeah, so
who don't understand his clothes.
You gotta love the cool teenagers.
Let's move on to Goddard Hillbilly Ellie. A Yale law student drawn back to his hometown ground for family history, Appalachian values, and the American dream.
Seriously, no, this looks actually good.
Yeah, I know, but with the title Hillbilly Elegy and the Appalachian and family history, I had to do the bit. I'm sorry. I hope that... I'm making a joke. The movie actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I love Glenn Close. Who else is in it? Is that Jessica Chastain? I don't know if that is. I could be wrong, but let me look it up. I know that this movie looks really good. I saw it. I was really impressed by it. I saw the trailer. It's gonna be released on Netflix, I believe. Yeah. Oh, it's directed by Ron Howard, Glenn Close, Amy Adams. There we go, Amy Adams. So yeah, I'm excited for this movie. I hope it's good. It looks good. So anything else you guys want to say?
Nope.
I just heard.
Actually, Krüz, go ahead first. Go ahead, and then I'll do my thing.
I just heard that this was a lot of people were, or some people were upset with this because they were upset that the fact that white people are poor too. It's like, yeah, Hillbilly Elegy was kind of a testament to the fact of the underclass American in general, of how people are dealing with lower income families are dealing with life and everything, and that's just how it is. But people think that it's a whole political statement and all that bullshit. But whatever. It's a story. Whatever it comes from, whatever level it has, it's a story.
Mm-hmm. So by the way, back in ye old days of the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st century, there are poor white people, even those who are in poverty and those who are homeless.
But
it's a big issue. People complaining that white people are poor too. I thought you're stupid.
Yes, I agree.
It's just kind of like how people are.
You're no better than the person who walked into the room. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's
your child will be the one of 6 abducted by the Dutch.
Yeah, people you live with, people who are it's just like. Yeah, you go through hard times with people who look like you. You go through hard times with people who don't look like you, and I think that's kind of part of the message of this thing, that people are it really solidifies the message that we're all in this together, and people are in this together who don't look or think or act like each other.
So if anyone doesn't know what an elegy is a poem of serious reflection, usually a lament for the dead. So basically, this would be read at something like, I don't know. I don't want to say a funeral, but at the same time, kind of just.
No, that's a eulogy, not an elegy.
Yeah. Elegy is way different than a eulogy. Just gotta keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. It comes out on Netflix, and yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to our next film, The Last Vermeer. A soldier investigates a renowned Dutch artist who is accused of conspiring with the Nazis.
He's a Nazi. Don't trust him. He is a Nazi.
Now, to be fair.
Conspiracy.
Now, to be fair, this actually is a thing that happened in history. A lot of artworks, a lot of things were stolen.
Yeah, big time.
Of course. Absolutely. I mean, that was the thing that I think there was a movie called The Golden Lady or something like that, where
I saw that movie.
Yeah, it was with what's
Ryan
his
Reynolds.
Face? Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. He was defending the woman who the Austrian government was pressuring her to provide the artwork back to the government, and she was refusing it because it was under ownership of her family.
Right.
So yeah, I think that was a very interesting movie, and they had a little joke in there, like, "Oh, a joke, a joke. My daughter loves that country. She loves the kangaroos of that country." Blah 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 blah. But yeah, it was a very interesting movie.
But yeah, I don't. There was a thing called the Nazi plunder, which pretty much lasted until the end of World War II. It started in 1933, lasted until World War II. So, yeah, that's a long time for a lot of artwork to be stolen and a lot of artwork to basically just disappear just because people wanted the money from it. It's kind of upsetting, but
God
that is
damn
where
Nazis.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Now let's move on to the movie that we had to cut out anything relating to it last episode because YouTube hates us.
Anyway,
the 355.
355. International women who rival each other in different agencies must unite to stop a mercs whose hands hold a lethal weapon while also staying on top of a mysterious woman who tracks their every move. Looks interesting. Has some interesting characters. I mean, actresses. I don't know what it's trying to be. I don't know what it's about. I'm not getting too much from it. It looks like every other action movie I've ever seen. But hey, at least it's done by Universal, so win.
All right, so I know I'm gonna go off course for just a minute. I have like in the background, like no audio. Like the World Series Game 5, there is a Die Hard battery commercial playing, and they have Bruce Willis in it, and he hits somebody in the head with a Die Hard battery, and it eventually leads to like an excavator driven by Samuel L. Jackson blowing up with a grenade that Bruce Willis threw.
Mm-hmm.
I know that
sounds amazing.
The show a little bit, but I wanted to say that before I forgot anything about
it. You know what else is amazing? The fact that I lived in, and as anyone who might have been following S.E.T for the last year or so knows that I was living in Budapest, Hungary, knows that I was living in that region. And of course, this is all, in the before times, before COVID and everything. Interestingly enough, Bruce Willis was the main poster child of Hell Energy, which was one of the main energy drink beverages in Budapest, Hungary.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure why, but apparently they love Bruce Willis, and yeah, that's a thing.
But what do you guys have to say about the 355?
It's not the best Ferrari ever made, so it gets a 0 out of 1.
It's a route for Maryland's, but it's around a truffle often, so it's I guess. It ends up being
football noises.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next trailer, Mortal. A young man discovering his godlike powers must now figure out how to control them while also knowing the extent of them. Yeah,
it's another superhero origin story. It's just another origin story.
Yeah.
No offense, but we've seen too many of those bastards.
Is that Tucker?
No, that's I have a couple of keychains on my desk. My dog's downstairs somewhere. I don't know where it is.
I want to see Tucker. Also, it's like Mortal. It's like except it's not like everyone had to try to do everything to sleep and
Krüz,
can you get your point across, please?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm with Naka. We want you to get your point across.
It wasn't like how the movie was it Chronicle came across and how the guy had to be impaled at the last second and everything.
Oh, I see what I know what you're talking about now.
Oh, you're talking about
Chronicle.
a film Chronicle. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
it kind of seemed like it was going to be like that, but yeah, it kind of seems like they're going for or like the end that was going to be presentable was going to go through that. Yeah.
Now we move on to Horizon Line, a survival horror movie. If you really think about it.
A couple flying on a small plane to attend a tropical island wedding must fight and fly for their lives after their plot suffers a heart attack.
Their plot?
After,
you mean pilot?
Yeah. Look. It's one of those days, okay? The Horizon Line is not a movie I care to see. Like it's every survival film I've ever seen. It's
got a bit of the cheese.
I mean, yeah, but
Bum cheese. It's all bum cheese.
Anyway, we move on to Mank.
Man K.
An established Hollywood writer fights for his rights for screenplay credit with one of the prestigious Hollywood filmmakers in the world on one of the best films ever made. Have you guys ever seen Citizen Kane?
No, but I've heard about it and heard how it's like breathtaking and like one of the most influential pieces of media.
The most classic film I've seen was probably Casablanca.
Okay.
The biggest classic film, rather.
So Mank is basically about Joseph Mankiewicz, or I forgot his real name. I think it's Joseph. Hold on, let me take a look. One second. Okay. Herman J. Mankiewicz. Okay, so interesting thing about him. He was a writer on many different films, including Citizen Kane. He wrote for Citizen Kane, and believe it or not, what was so funny about his film, as well as what happened, was that there was a staff writer for MGM was notified by Joseph Goebbels. You know who Joseph Goebbels is, right?
No.
Joseph Goebbels?
Yes, Joseph Goebbels.
Are you talking about that Joseph Goebbels?
I am talking about that one, yes. And believe it or not...
The propaganda minister for the Third Reich?
That is correct. And
believe it or not, one. Oh,
he's a Nazi.
Believe it or not, he was they wanted to show his films in Germany, but because Mankiewicz is a Jew, he wanted his credit to be eliminated off of the screen. But Hollywood just basically said, "Well, fuck you, we're not doing that." And so they never got the movie in Germany because of that reason.
Interesting.
So but yeah, it looks like a good film on Mankiewicz's life. I can only hope it's interesting. We'll just have to wait and see how it works. I like the way that it's classically shot. I don't know about you, Naka, but it does look good.
Doing the Hitchcock cinematography. I don't know what I was trying to sound like there, but
French.
No,
anyway.
Not French. No. We'll move on to Nomadland.
A woman embarks on a journey through the American West after losing everything during the recession.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people did that.
Not much to say regarding this film. It's more so just a teaser. If anything else, we'll have more to talk about once we actually come to an actual release date. But hey, at least we talked about it, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next film, which I am not looking forward to. In fact, it is probably my least favorite out of all these trailers. Iron Mask. A cartographer begins to map the Russian Far East, where he's forced onto China, where he confronts a being known as the Dragon Master. So the film stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan.
Okay, it's a movie pandering to China. No offense to Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but y'all are fucked.
No, but literally, like Iron Mask, it looks interesting.
It's going to
quote
pander
unquote.
to China. That's what it's going to do.
But I don't want it to pander to China. That's the thing. but we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know what it's called in. Let me look up Arnold Schwarzenegger's filmography, since I am having a little bit of trouble finding the film because I have no idea who's making it or writing it or directing it. So. Fuck, where is it? Jesus Christ. Come on. There it is. Thank God. All right. Scroll all the way down. All right. So the film is actually called no, that's not it.
It's called No.
It's called
Well, it looks kind of weird because there doesn't seem to be a title on Wikipedia, but I'm pretty sure there's one on IMDb. It looks interesting. It's just it's my least favorite out of all of these trailers. It really is. There's nothing much for me to say. Do you want Krüz?
I've lost a lot of respect for Jackie Chan because I'm now just reading. He criticized the 2019 Hong Kong protests, saying that the 5-star red flag is respected everywhere around the world and supported. Chinese government's decision.
I feel the same thing. It's like
I've lost a lot of respect for him as somebody who was born in Hong Kong too.
I know what you're talking about, Naka, and I feel the same. It's like how he's.
No wonder why he's in this movie as the Dragon Warrior or whatever.
All that shit,
Because he's allowed to work in a movie that panders to China because he supports what they're doing to the people of Hong Kong, where he was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It really sucks.
So
I'm sorry, that really upsets me.
Yeah, well, why don't we move on to our next film, which is a lot more interesting. Judas and the Black Messiah. A chairman of a revolutionary party is set up to be portrayed by an FBI informant to stop him in order to clear his name. So, believe it or not, this film actually takes place in real history. So basically,
like the trials of the Chicago 7.
I agree.
I got a lot of those vibes from this, so it's going to be good.
Yeah,
those are my thoughts.
Yeah, of course. And Krüz?
Yeah, this one looks like a lot more history behind it. But Judas and the Black Messiah, besides surrounding a black metal album title, this is about the Black Panther Party during the height of their tension and everything. During when they were both frowned upon and glorified and everything a lot of this stuff, there's a lot of tension going on with all this. I think it's a very interesting movie that points at the all the events that were going on at the time that this movie was made.
So, not much to say regarding Judas and the Black Messiah, but I do want to see this film. It actually looks really well done. And now we move on to a trailer, which this must be a joke.
Fat man.
To save his declining business, Santa Claus is forced into a partnership with the military, but a devious 12-year-old hires a hitman to kill the jolly elf after getting a lump of coal in his stocking. This must be a joke. This must be a joke. This really must be. I don't know what else to say, guys. What do you have to say?
I want to say I recognize the Hitman actor, but I don't remember where he's from.
Mel
Because it's
Gibson,
not Matthew McConaughey.
Walton Goggins.
I've seen movies with him. Also, hello, Kyle. Sorry that you're dealing with personal bullshit. I know it gets overwhelming and you want an escape, and we're glad that we can be an escape for you.
Love you, buddy.
But
yeah,
what is that actor's name again?
Walton Goggins. You've never seen that actor before?
No, I've seen that actor before. That's why I'm saying, where do I recognize him from? I'm looking through the list. He was Sonny Birch. He was Sonny Birch from Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's where I first recognize him.
Yeah, he was.
Well, he was also in
that
he was
movie.
he was also in The Hateful Eight as Chris Mannix.
I haven't seen The Hateful Eight.
I have.
You were there to see The Hateful Eight? It's great.
It was a great movie. Honestly, yeah, go and see it. It's a really good movie.
But
what else was he in that I've seen? House of a Thousand Corpses. Let's see what else in here I've seen.
But seriously, this film must be a joke. It must be. It must be. I don't know.
You in Wing Commander 4? If you're wondering what Wing Commander 4 is, it's a game in the Wing Commander series. It's got a lot of full motion video in it. I know. I think 3 has Mark Hamill in it.
Oh damn!
Like the Wing Commander series, like early to mid '90s. It's one of the better FMV series produced by EA. Well then, EA actually did cool shit with it. So. I'm talking about just one actor, but we need to continue, I feel.
Yeah, there's just not much for me to say here. It looks... This film... This trailer must be a joke. It must be. It must be. I don't know why this trailer was made, but hey.
It's strange.
Anyway, we're going to move on to our next film with... Kindred. Plagued by mysterious hallucinations, a pregnant woman suspects that the family of her deceased boyfriend has intentions for her unborn child.
I mean...
Yeah,
that's mysterious hallucinations that will be explained in the movie where they come from. So, yeah. Egg.
Yeah. Krüz?
Freaky.
Anything you want to say, Krüz?
That's what I say, freaky. Go
on.
Krüz. Sorry, I heard everything. Fat Man's going on, Kindred's going on. It's hard to really take one thing seriously. And then there's Minari.
And then there's Minari.
Oh, I'm actually kind of excited because this film is produced by A24, which I fucking love.
A24 and needs more credit.
Yeah, Minari. A Korean family searches for a better life when they move to a small farm in Arkansas, hoping for the American dream while their grandmother takes care of their children. Yeah, this is some heavy shit, y'all. This is some very heavy shit because
it's a very classic coming to America kind of film. And
because it's called The American Dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
I don't owe you shit.
The French!
No, but really, what do you have to say regarding this particular film? Just the trailer, rather. It looks really good. I like it.
It's kind of like got a little bit of Parasite. What was the fucking movie called? Not Parasite. The one that received all the awards this year.
Parasite.
Yes, Parasite. It's kind of got a little bit of that in it. A little bit, not much, but a little bit of it in it. And, it's about the American dream and how people move to America and realize the American dream's just a bunch of bullshit. So, can't wait to see how that plays out.
But it does look interesting. Now it's time to finally move on to the animated stuff. Aren't we ready? The Krüz, a new age. The prehistoric family are challenged by a rival family who claim to be better and more evolved. Yeah, this is about it. A lot of people, believe it or not, I don't want to. Don't quote me on this because I don't know if it's true. A lot of people were suspecting that the two female characters were actually going to end up turning LGBT, but because of YouTube does what it does. It shuts the comment sections down because the comment sections get a little too heated, shall we say?
Plus, this is a kids movie. If it's got the made for kids thing on it, there's not going to be comments on it.
So who knows? We'll just have to wait how it works out. I didn't see the original Krüz, and I don't really know if I want to see this film because I just, animated films interest me. It's just this one kind of just I don't know. Now we have to move on to probably the biggest one that I really want to see and
except it's on Apple TV, so I don't care.
Well, Chris.
Apple TV is $5 a month. Relax.
So, yeah, I'm not paying for that.
Just get it to get one. To get one thing to watch.
I'm not paying $5.
This might be the one thing to watch.
Well, On the Rocks is also on there too. So
I don't want to give Apple money.
All right.
I don't either, but fucking want to see this shit.
But let's take this away. Let's take that aspect away. Wolf Walkers. A girl tasked to destroy any wolf makes friends with a tribe member, which draws her closer into the world, risking turning her into a very thing her father is tasked to destroy with when she falls asleep. I hope Shudder is listening because I really want him to give me his thoughts on what this movie is about.
He's probably busy with work, but you'll have to bring it up to him later.
And what do you think about this trailer, other than the fact that it's from Apple TV?
It looks great, and, it's definitely a little bit more kid-oriented. It's kind of got a little bit of that, I don't want to say Beauty and the Beast vibe.
Right.
I mean, it kind of does, but it also kind of doesn't. I don't know. That's a mixed signal I'm getting from this movie, and I'm not saying that in a bad way.
So this film is actually produced by Cartoon Saloon, and it's an Irish animated film company. They've done films such as The Secret of Kells, Song of the Sea, and I think they also did The Breadwinner as well. I have not seen The Breadwinner. I heard it was really well done. I'll just have to wait and see how it works. But yeah, I want to see Wolf Walkers. I'm really excited to see Wolf Walkers, and I'm going to see Wolf Walkers because I'm a furry and I like furry shit. So, but that's not the only reason why I want to see it. I actually do want to see what the film has to offer. Now we're gonna move on to a Disney movie. Finally, Naka, Krüz.
Oh, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Raya and the Last Dragon. A young woman tries to find a dragon in order to stop monsters from taking over their land. So yeah, this is a Disney animated film. Not much is given. I'm kind of getting the same vibe as Frozen 2, the Frozen 2 trailer, where it looked really dark and adult, but they had to cut it out. They had to make it look too kid friendly, which was just kind of not as good as the first Frozen, but hey.
I'm getting a whole lot of from this.
Really? Just
To quote Scott the Woz, it looks fine.
But not Krüz, what do you have to say about this trailer?
Trying to remember kind of click through the old scenes from it.
You watched
right? I did watch them with you, but
no, Raya and the Last Dragon.
It kind of seems like, kind of same old stuff with how these all movies gone. It's unfortunate, but
Anyway,
Last Dragon.
All right.
But with an asterisk, and all these things. It doesn't mean we hate them for everything, but it's just like, you know, how these movies have to go through and everything. You know what? Wolfwalkers is one that I think that Scarfy is particularly interested in, and one that I am also interested in, and one that we want to see how that goes down and everything.
Yeah,
More
of course.
angry football noises.
Angry football noises. Angry.
This is what happens when.
Hey!
This is what happens when, unfortunately, Oakland Raiders players test positive for COVID-19, meaning that game had to be rescheduled, and that bumped up the Seahawks game to the Sunday Night Football slot.
Anyway, we're going to go... Yeah.
To Ammonite.
Yeah, anyway. Yes, so we're moving on to some queer representation, aren't we? An acclaimed but overlooked fossil hunter and a young woman sent to Kovalevsk by the sea develop an intense relationship, altering both of their lives forever. I don't want to say this film looks Oscar baity, but at the same time, it kind of does look a little Oscar baity, but not too much. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, sure. It's like, hey, look, it's Oscar bait. Ooh, look at us. Football noises. Yeah. I like how I'm in the middle of speaking and football noises happen.
Okay.
I can never win. I tried fiddling with voice meter and I couldn't get it to work that right, so I need to fiddle with that this next week. So I'm sorry. Football noises are definitely going to be present in this episode.
The French.
But to defend ourselves from Naka's dad's voices.
You know what? I know what you're going for, but I'm not going to continue the bit because I kind of agree with you.
All right. Anyway, Krüz, Naka, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, it looks fine. Sure, Oscar baity, the queer representation in cinema. I hope it's just not cheap and forced. That's mainly what I don't want it to be. Like, no offense to that one scene at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. The movie's been out for about a fucking year now at this point.
I remember seeing that.
There was a scene.
That movie was ass, by the way.
It was not that good. But there was a scene in the ending that was cut out. Like, it was 5 seconds of this scene was cut out in certain countries because it featured two women kissing. And just like, it seems really, really forced, and I hope this movie doesn't end up like that. Or in one of the recent Star Trek movies, they just made Captain Sulu gay for no reason, just walking up to somebody, like to his partner, just like, hey, by the way, yeah, I'm gay, haha.
And
by the way,
why? You don't need to force it. Even George Takei, who originally played Sulu, was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, you know.
I don't want LGBT representation to be forced and shoveled down. I want it to be real and authentic.
I mean, the next one I have to say does kind of look real and authentic if you get down to it.
What?
You want to talk about it?
Supernova and dementia, and how I've known people who have it, and it's a really, really shitty thing to go through, and you just kind of have to go with it. And it really is. It's hard.
Supernova.
It's not.
A man and his husband of 20 years travel to England together, visiting friends and family, relishing in their time together, as one of them suffers from early onset dementia. So yeah, I remember showing this to my friend in one of the trailers who cares about gay news. I personally just don't really care. I just kind of do my own thing, but he cares a lot. So he asked me, "Oh no, is this the gay dementia film?" And I'm like, but you know, anyway, with Supernova, what do you have to say regarding this? Because this does look at the very least dramatic and interesting, and the fact that
and Alzheimer's sucks. It really
it
does.
It really does.
This is a movie that I don't want to see purely because I've lived through some of these experiences and I don't want to relive them. That's like the only reason why I wouldn't see this movie, is because I don't want to be hit in the heart 1,000 times with a 60-pound, 3-foot-tall dildo.
Yeah. But no, really, what do you think about this trailer?
It looks
That's
great,
how it
but
goes.
again, I don't want to watch it because of the subject matter, personally.
Of course, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it doesn't get better from here because guess what we have to go and talk about now?
Nothing.
Hey, maybe
Okay,
this version will actually be good.
No.
All right, so let's talk about it. Justice League, the Snyder Cut. A group of superheroes must stop a vigilante from securing 3 boxes that may determine the fate of the world. So, get this. This is actually the fourth this is actually going to be a 4-part miniseries, and I'm just going to say this right now.
Why?
Because okay. You want to know you want to know why? You want to know why? Zack Snyder has friends. That is literally why this film is made. Because he has friends. And you know, just
football.
It's one of those things where it's just, it's one of those things where, Zack Snyder is making a film and it's just football. I don't really know what else to say, and
you can say
that's
football.
That's all I have to say. I don't care about football noises. I'm getting really tired of that. I'm sorry, Naka. I do have to say it. I'm actually getting really tired of him shouting, but hey, what can I do?
I can't control my father, okay?
I know.
I'm tired of all
You're gonna have to come to my house and talk to him about that. I've tried for years to talk to him about that, and it doesn't work.
The Pittsburgh fucking Steelers barely scraped by another fucking win to be, quote, undefeated. Yeah, you barely scraped by the Titans.
Let's move on to a movie that we know nothing about other than this man was powerful, but was dormant for 5,000 years and is now returning for whatever reason, and won't be stopped, apparently. It's Black Adam.
Well, we didn't even talk with the Justice League yet. We didn't even talk that much about it.
Yes, we did, though.
Oh, well, it's being made because Zack Snyder has friends and because, Krüz, stop. It's not funny.
What?
Anyway, we're going to move on to Black Adam. Plot to be determined. That's pretty much it. Black Adam. There's not much to go with this film, and yeah.
I surmise the trailer by saying, it's like, yeah, this man is like an all-powerful being, lays dormant for 5,000 years, has said he's going to come back and nobody will be able to stop him. He kind of looks like The Rock, but he also doesn't in this little animatic.
I mean, slightly like The Rock. I do see that.
Anyway, the next film that is going to be an interesting one for Krüz is
The Batman.
The Batman. A Caped Crusader comes across a foe that continues to leave behind clues everywhere in every crime that may tie him to his deceased family. So when it comes to the Batman, believe it or not, Weird Al posted, basically quoted Sean Parker from the Social Network by saying, "Drop the just Batman. It's cleaner." And I do agree with him. It would have been just easy if they called it Batman. It would have been a lot more easier. Batman is going to be starred by Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. This is his I imagine his debut as the character.
So
it is the debut. It is Robert Pattinson's debut as Batman.
And you want to know the best part about this film, which I've already told Krüz and Naka,
is that Robert Pattinson can actually act.
Well, that and the fact that Robert Pattinson finally gets to play a bat for once, which he never did in Twilight. But hey, what can you do?
What can you do other than talk about our next film, Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman 1984. Some 60 years later, a superhero must now take care of the greatest foes yet, while also coming across a long-forgotten friend to have been lost. I'm excited for this film, and furries are going to be excited too, because it has Cheetah, one of the supervillains. So, we'll have to
already looks better. It already looks better than Cats. I'll tell you that.
That's for damn sure. And that's really all I have to say about Wonder Woman 1984. Krüz.
Yeah. I think that the biggest thing is going to be the next thing is going to be drawn down to about. Yeah.
The thing with Wonder Woman is that, DC movies, they're not the best, but Wonder Woman is, the original Wonder Woman movie that came out a couple years ago in this new DC universe, pretty good. I hope this one succeeds in the same era and takes it further,
I agree. I would want it to take it further at least, but...
And then we move on to another remake.
Yes, well, this one actually looks really well done, and this is by far my favorite trailer out of everything. That's why I saved it for last.
Even the giant sandworm butthole monster.
Adapted from the novel of the same name, a son of a noble family must trek across a dangerous desert planet to inherit a vital element while avoiding his enemies who tries to stop him. Oh my god.
This movie looks fantastic. Also,
it looks, yeah.
Before we get into things, even if I had voice meter installed, because the sound travels throughout the house, the mic would just pick it up anyway. That's the unfortunate thing. I can't move my setup. I know that you're disappointed in me. Even if I installed voice meter, it wouldn't do anything. And I did install it, and I still need to fiddle with it. But because I'm not in a room that's sealed off, because I have a big dresser in my room, I got a giant bed, I'm in a different room that's open. And the only way that this room would be closed off is if we actually sealed the room, if we wanted to drop $15,000 for whole house air conditioning. But we need to talk about Dune 2021. Because this movie looks fantastic.
Not Krüz. Like I saw the trailer, and immediately when I was hearing Pink Floyd's Eclipse from the Dark Side album, oh my god, I was just so amazed, and I was just, oh my god, it looks so fucking good.
I have not appropriately been able to watch the trailer for all this. I'm not appropriate being able to trailer for this, but I think that they've got a good thing going with this trailer, the whole thing with the whole big buttworm from the earth and everything.
I'll just say this: if this movie isn't at least 3 hours long, then I'll be supremely disappointed because it looks fucking amazing. But yeah, Naka, what was the thing that captivated you about this trailer the most?
I mean, other than the giant worm sand butthole monster,
Other than that,
like the fuck. You see, I can't win. I can't win. All right. Krüz, you need to silence your microphone for a minute while I talk about this.
okay.
Here it goes.
Like the characters behind it, like honestly, I think the visual upgrades from when did Dune originally come out? Like the 80s, the 90s? I can't remember when
it was. Okay, so when it comes to Dune, there was a film that released in 1984. It was directed by David Lynch. But it was not well received because David Lynch did not get final cut of the film, which is a problem because when you get final cut of the film, that means when you don't get final cut of the film, that means the producers can pretty much play with the film as they want to, which is a little sad. But this film is also going to be directed by Denis Villeneuve, and he's directed Arrival, he's directed Blade Runner 2049. He knows how to shoot atmospheric sci-fi really well. He knows
Arrival was really good. We'll say that.
The fact that you have the same person behind Arrival for this movie, it's going to be great. There you go.
Are you going to be seeing this film?
Yes.
You would not have. Oh yeah.
Yes, I'll see it with my parents who saw the original because I have only seen bits and pieces of the original.
So,
because I kind of like the dystopian future kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's really all I have to say about Dune. And
that is it. That is our show for tonight, ladies and
Indeed,
folks.
our show for this week. I apologize for Sunday Night Football happening at the same time as our show, and due to
Hey, I have a question.
what's your question?
I was just gonna ask. You have voice meter running, right?
I couldn't get it really working. I tried fiddling with it, and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So
Okay, yeah.
I'll need to figure that out for this week. So I do want to bring something up. We had a little bit of a scare recently. Somebody who came over on Tuesday, stayed the night. Yesterday was, was symptomatic, but I don't know if they've tested positive or negative for COVID-19 yet. I don't know if they've been tested fully or not. So, the original plan was my folks were going to go to my cousin's house, because that's what they did last time there was a Sunday Night Football game on the same day as our show. For the Seahawks. And so that's why football noises are happening tonight instead of not happening. Mm-hmm. I wanted to put that out there at the end. I should have brought it up at the beginning of the show, but that's my bad.
Yeah, of course. And
but it's always fun to have football noises in the episode.
Football noises! Yeah.
Anyway, as always, my name is Scarfy.
I've been Naka. That's been Krüz.
And I've been Krüz. And thank you for joining us. We love you all. Have a great evening. And
be safe. Go out and vote.
Drink responsibly. Wear a mask and do all that fun shit.
And go vote. Most states.
Stay awesome. Yeah.
If you haven't registered to vote, if you're listening to this live, go vote. If you are registered to vote, vote. Just vote.
Hey, if early voting is available, go and check nearby to see if there are early voting areas nearby, and go ahead and do it. If
you are voting by mail, get your ballots postmarked as soon as possible, or if you have a ballot drop-off box, drop it off in that drop-off box. Seriously, go out and vote. That is all for this week. Everybody, be safe. Like Krüz said, wear a mask.
We love you.
Be responsible. Take care of each other and take care of yourselves. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.